Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Lady Candace. Thank you so much for coming to see my video. I got the idea for this video. It's going to be titled 100 favorite things. Let me get that right. I was inspired by one of my favorite YouTubers. Her channel name is Toxic Tears. She's got a great channel. I don't know her personally. I think it would be a lot of fun to meet her in real life. But she started her video with saying, you know, that there's a lot of negativity, especially on the internet, but just in the world in general. There always has been. That's nothing new, and that's nothing to get particularly upset about, because that's just the world. However, it's not all that difficult to combat negativity when you think about the positive things. Even the Bible talks about this. You know, think on these things, and these are good things to think about. And I am Lady Candace. Thank you again for coming to my channel. My hair is a complete mess, but this is like the 6th time I've tried to record this video, and I'm gonna do it. I don't care what I look like. I don't care. I don't care. It's getting done. It's getting done today. So I just wanted to go through a quick list. I know 100 things doesn't sound like a quick list, but I'm not gonna harp on them too much. I'm gonna try to just go through them. But I thought that was a really cool idea to try and record myself just sharing 100 of my favorite things. I would encourage you to do the same. Make sure that you tag Toxic Tears somewhere in your video, because she was the one that came up with the idea, and I'm sure others have done similar things in the past. But that's where I got it from. So thanks again, Toxic Tears, and here we go. Number 1, a favorite thing, Supernatural. It's my absolute favorite show. I wear a Samulet that's from the show. If you've ever seen it, you know that Dean Winchester wears one, or at least he used to. Supernatural is one of my absolute favorite shows. You can see a poster my husband got me for Christmas. It's involving the Impala and how, you know, hunting things is the family business. It's my favorite show because it was one of the first television shows that I actually felt like I could relate with. No, it's not because I come from a family of supernatural creature hunters, but some of the dynamic and some of the experiences that Sam and Dean have in the show sound very similar to experiences I had growing up. My parents are ministers, and so the supernatural in one form or another was a very normal thing to us. My father has performed exorcisms on homes. You know, we traveled around doing music and different ministry things. We're based in Virginia, my family is, but there was a lot about their experiences, like, oh wow, that actually sounds, you know, kind of like what I've grown up with. I don't have daddy issues. I have a great relationship with my father, but he always had that drive. He still has that drive to do, you know, what other people aren't really doing to make the world a better place. And so Supernatural, for that reason, is one of my favorite shows. Number 2, coffee. I don't know if you can see this, but coffee is one of my absolute favorite things. That's right, if I wasn't white girl enough. Really though, coffee, I've loved coffee for many years. I hated it as a teenager, but I love it these days. And I don't even need it super sweet. I love a mocha. Mochas are my favorite type of coffee. I can tell you, however, that one of the hardest parts of going sugar-free, which is something my husband and I have done within the last month or so, was cutting the creamer out of my coffee. And I'll tell you, I put my usual amount of creamer in my coffee today, and it's kind of too sweet now. I don't need all that. I'm really proud about that. And I'll get into the sugar-free thing later. Number 3, my black jeggings. I love my black jeggings. I have 3 pairs. All from Walmart. They were all from the clearance section for like $7. I wore my first pair of leggings in general on October 31st, 2016. Before that, I'm like, okay, it's just a fashion trend that I'm sure will leave. However, I found a pair at Walmart for like $4. I'm like, why not? Tried them on, and I haven't been the same ever since. They're comfortable, they're stylish. I'm not saying you wear them the same as pants. Cover your booty, ladies. It's just appropriate. But they're great, and I've actually lost weight in my size 18 jeggings in the last month and a half. So, neither here nor there. Number 4, eggs. Eggs are one of my favorite things to eat. I've had entire conversations with my grandfather, who I apparently get this from, I guess, how I could have eggs for every meal in a day. And I have done that, and I was completely satisfied. Love eggs, especially sunny side up eggs, but I love boiled, poached, scrambled's good. Eggies in a basket. My husband learned how to make that from V for Vendetta, and so we always have that when we're on vacation, and I don't know what that's about. But eggs. I love eggs. Number 5, cooking and baking in general. Another hard part about going sugar-free is I can't bake cakes and cookies and pies and brownies the same way that I did before. When I reach my goal weight, I'm going to have a big old chocolate cake. Really, cooking and baking is so much fun. My dream has always been to be a homemaker and a housewife. Stay-at-home mom, if that was something I could ever do, and not because of the laziness aspect that some people think is the work of a housewife, which is not. It's not at all. Both of my sisters are stay-at-home moms, and they're busy all the time, but I always thought it would be cool to keep house, to bake cakes every day, and cook incredible meals for my husband to come home to. Now, he is actually a much better cook than I am, but cooking and baking, my pies, I'm very famous for my pies. Not so much for the filling, but the crust. I always make my crust from scratch, and I do a rather fancy lattice work on my cherry and strawberry pies. So much so that my husband has sometimes believed that I didn't actually make it, that I bought it from a store. So I'm pretty proud of that. Number 6, my cat Cleo. I've had to restart the recording of this video many times because my Kiki, my little cat, my fat cat, has like made noises and whatever, and you don't always want to do that when you're recording. But I'm looking down at my phone to show you a picture of my cat. It's not the best. There she is there. She's a half Siamese, half Himalayan. She was a rescue cat from a local shelter. The lady that I got her from saved her from being put down. But if you look at her for 2 seconds, I'm like, she's so beautiful. Why would anybody want to put her down? She's sassy. She has no master. She squalls all day long. They say that cats meow at humans because they think we're stupid. They don't meow at each other except for baby cats. So apparently, and mine yells at me and my husband all day long. Oh, she's so bad, but I love her. She's actually very sweet, very, very affectionate, very, she loves people, loves attention. That's probably why she squalls. Number 7 is my doggy Pepper. I'll show you a picture of my Pepper. She is a doggy. She is, she's also another reason that I've had to restart the recording of this video so many times, because she's always trying to play fight with the cat, and the cat is 13 years old and doesn't like to do all that stuff. But Pepper is still a puppy. She's only a few months old. She's a half Dachshund, half Jack Russell Terrier. So she's not going to get really big, but she loves to chew on everything, loves to dig. She's also really, really sweet. She's so much energy. I've never had a small dog before, and I wasn't ready for that energy. But we had a lab mix in our home for many years, and she passed away, I want to say 8 months ago, and the absence in our home since she passed was apparent, just absolutely apparent. And I didn't feel like there was any life in my house for a long time. And one day, my husband is texting me at work. He said, "I can't wait till you get home. I've got a surprise." And my first thought was, he got a dog, didn't he? Well, I come home and there's this tiny little puppy wrapped in a bow, waiting on the bed for me, and I died, of happiness just there. She's great, she's good, and he's a sweet man for doing that. Number 8, my Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. And it's way better than all the iPhones I've ever had. I'm not saying you gotta like it, but I love my Samsung phone. It's so much easier to customize things, to upload and take off music, videos, pictures. There's lots of cool apps. There are for iPhones as well. I had iPhones for many years, 5, 6 years, and but the new plan that my husband and I got on with our phones, was just we were able to get Samsungs, and I'm blown away. I love it. I'm never going back to iPhone. I don't know about you, but that's just me. Number 9, living in the country. If my accent wasn't already a, obvious, showing that I'm southern and country, I will tell you that I love living in the country. I love living in the woods. I grew up in the woods, not far away from civilization, but all my neighbors are my family. There's no noise out here. I barely hear cars. You can run outside and run around and scream and make all the noise you want, like in a horror film, and no one will be able to help you. No, just kidding. But really, it's so much more peaceful. I can grow gardens. I'm not very good at it, but I can if I want to. You can have all the animals you want. There's a lot of strange animals that live where I live because a lot of my family lives on the same property. Number 10, my husband. You've heard me mention him many times. His name is Shane. I put him as number 10 because we will be celebrating our 10th wedding anniversary this year in November. And I can't believe that man has put up with me as his wife for 10 years, but we've been together for 19 years. I know that doesn't sound true, but that is. We started dating when I was 11, he was 13, and the rest is history. He was my only, I don't want to say only real boyfriend. I had a boyfriend before him, but it was kind of a kid thing, and it didn't end on horrible terms. We're still, civil and friendly. It's no bad blood, nothing like that. But we grew up together, my husband and I. He treats me like his queen. I have freedom to be who I am. He spoils the crap out of me when he really shouldn't. I don't see how anybody could put up with me for this long. I could barely put up with me. But he's a good man, and I was blessed with him. Number 11, gaming. I mentioned it right after this because he's actually the one that got me into gaming. I didn't really, I played video games some before, we got together. However, he really opened my eyes to the whole world of gaming. It's an art form, it's cinematic, it's incredible. And I've been able to connect with so many people over video gaming. I don't want to call it video game, but gaming in general. Made friends from across the ocean through, live streaming online. And, I'm able to make friends just in my own community. It was like, oh, you play Skyrim? You play Assassin's Creed? You play Minecraft? So do I. Let's talk about that. And it's great. It's a great, it's an awesome community that, if you're not into gaming, I'm not saying you have to be, but that's one reason why a lot of us are so into it. It's because it's its own subculture and community that it's unlike a lot of other subcultures, and it's really great. Number 12, my gaming chair. I love this thing. I can't actually remember the brand name, what it is, but if you aren't already picking up on my color scheme, the black and red, I love it. It's so comfy. I can play video games in it for hours, and it's fantastic. Never had a gaming chair. This is my first one. I love it so much. I was trying to see if I could find the box that it came in, because it's still here, but I'm not getting out. I'm too lazy right now. Because it's a comfy chair. I'm not getting out of it. Number 13, my gaming headset. I love this thing. It's just a Logitech. You can get it, I think I got this from Best Buy. And we don't even normally buy from Best Buy a lot of times. Like, good stuff there. Just, we usually find stuff online. However, I saw it and I'm like, oh, it matches my aesthetic, the black and red. I must have it. And we got a good deal on it, and it's great. Hopefully you can hear me. Sometimes I gotta put it up a little closer because I talk real silent. Or sometimes I don't when I'm really passionate about stuff. Then the country accent really comes out over the headphone. Number 14, goth fashion. It's one of my favorite things. I do wear black most days, as you can see, but goth isn't about being in all black. Goth is a state of mind. It's not even really a style. It's celebrating the beauty in the sometimes morbid and even scary things that are in this world, that you don't have to be afraid of things. You can still celebrate the beauty in darkness. And that's not even to say that goth fashion or the goth subculture is all about being depressing or the darkness. Of course there's a hint of that, but it's not about sadness. It's about celebrating the beauty in, you know, in perhaps the darker things, and there's much beauty to be seen there. I've always enjoyed goth fashion. I don't have the money to support a you know, the fashion for myself the way I would like to. However, I got this video idea from Toxic Tears, the video for the 100 favorite things, and she's actually shown some really great things of, you know, being goth on a budget, and how you can, you know, you can wear what you want on, you know, a lower budget, and, you know, and still be happy with what you got. Number 15. My church. I'm sure you weren't expecting to hear that one after goth fashion, because a lot of people think that, you know, goths aren't people of faith. They're not, you know, they're all sad. And y'all need to leave that alone. Y'all need to look into what you're talking about. But as I said, 15, my church. I work as the music minister at my church. My parents started our church. They're the senior pastors there. It's a small community, not a country church necessarily, but it's a small community. And it's, I don't know, it's what I feel church is really supposed to be like. You know, it's just a close-knit community of people that really are there for each other. They're not talking about each other all day long behind their back, stabbing each other in the back, trying to one-up, trying to have authority over each other. You know, we run a food bank there that it's the largest in Central Virginia. It feeds more people than the USDA food bank does. They actually send people to us. Most of the churches in our area send people to us for food. Even the larger ones that could be considered mega churches, which I sometimes do have a very big problem with because it's not really church. But that's a subject for a video all its own. But I love my church. Number 16, my bass. I don't have it here with me. When I originally was going to record this video, I did have it in my home. But my bass is an LTD. She's black and red, if you didn't already guess. And I call her Lucy. I can show you a picture of her, probably. I say her, you know, as if it's a person. But, you know, men treat their guitars and cars like women. This is my bass. That's it. My husband got it for me for Christmas a few years ago. I love it to death. It's so great. But I love to play the bass. As a musician in this area, that's what I'm most known for. I'm not even saying I'm good. I'm not. There's plenty others that are far better than me in this area, but I enjoy it. I enjoy playing bass. Number 17, performing music in general. I'm wearing one of my band's shirts. I'm in a couple of bands and music projects. But performing music, I love it. It's one of my favorite things. And again, I'm not even saying that I'm very good at it or anything like that. I enjoy it greatly. I feel that it's what's been given to me to do. You know, it touches people. Music is a language all its own. I'm in Single Side. I'm in Whole New Me. I'm in New Sight. I'm in Johnny's Girl. I'm in One Accord. It's an a cappella group, but I do sometimes play guitar in there. It's just something that I've always enjoyed, and I feel like it's my calling is to perform music and play and sing. Number 18, escape rooms. If you've never done an escape room before, oh my gosh, I would highly encourage you to do so. And there's all different kinds. There's scary kinds. There's family-friendly kinds. I actually used to work for an escape room company. I'm going to get coffee. Here in Central Virginia where I work. And we left on good terms. Well, I left there on good terms. And one of the greatest things about working for an escape room company was just how much fun people had every time they came to do an escape room. Most of the time. I never dreaded going to work because it was such a fun environment. And of course, the people I worked for were fantastic. And the team there, I missed them all. It was a great team that they put together to you know, to run the place. But it was a lot of fun. And it's kind of like a live action video game. It's a puzzle in a room that you solve puzzles, you unlock locks, all in hopes of escaping the room. Within the Commonwealth of Virginia, you can't legally lock someone in a room. So and I know there's other states that do the same thing. So if you have apprehensions of actually being locked in a room within the Commonwealth of Virginia, it's not a problem. You're never actually locked in that room. If you look at lynchburgescape.com, they explain all of that there. I'll let you look into that yourself. Number 19, bandanas. And I have a few to show. I know it's silly to say, but I actually love bandanas. My husband got me this one for Christmas a few years ago. I got this one at the Outer Banks long time ago. I've always thought that bandanas were fun to wear, and it wasn't until many years after she passed away that I realized that my grandmother, my mom's mom, wore bandanas all the time. She put them on when she was about to get in her grubby. She was about to, do housework or, do things that might not be, cleanly. Working in the garden, doing dishes, cleaning up around the house. And that's what I do. I didn't even realize that until many years after this was a natural habit of mine. But, I wear bandanas when I'm going on the road, when, I want to ride with the windows down or something. And I'm not, it's kind of a style, I guess, a rock and roll style a little bit. But I love bandanas. They're great. Number 20, vampires. I love vampires. All vampire lore and fandom, and this was long before Twilight was a thing. I like Twilight, I'll admit that, and now I love when people make fun of it. There's some hilarious jokes about the whole Twilight fandom, and I think it's great. But I actually really enjoy being a part of the fandom. But vampires, it's so much more than what you hear of in Twilight. True Blood is a ripoff of that. Vampire Diaries was a ripoff, but it was a good show. Lots of things, but if you actually look at the long history and the real history of mythology for vampires, it's very interesting, quite scary. It wasn't always a romantic or sexual thing. That's a somewhat recent development. However, I've always thought it would be really cool to be a vampire. They're beautiful, they live forever, they have strength, and they're smart, and, all the things that I think it would be great to be. Very cunning, clever, all those things. I do think that it would be a lot of fun to write a vampire hunter novel, and I'll get into some things like that later. But vampire fandom and lore, I love it. Number 21, pirates, which if you haven't noticed from some of these, they're kind of pirate-y. I love pirate stories and lore as well. And of course, piracy, as it really is, has been romanticized in our modern culture. But the way that we see pirates, they're free, they were essentially rock stars, as I think Johnny Depp, when he was being interviewed for his role as Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean, one of my favorite movies. He was saying that they were essentially rock stars, at least the way that they're portrayed in entertainment to us. And so I always thought that vampires and pirates, if you could put those stories together, and some people have, would be a lot of fun to write and play around with. 22, Demon Hunter is one of my favorite bands. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're metal. Their lyrics are always on point. Their music, if you like metal music, is, oh my God, it's so good. It's like drinking a tall glass of water when you didn't even know you were thirsty, and there's no joke behind that. I'm just, that's just a weird analogy. But Demon Hunter is definitely one of my favorite bands. 23, Relient K is one of my favorite bands. It's kind of a different genre, totally. It's kind of pop-punk-ish, and I hate to call it that because it's not even pop necessarily, but it's a little more upbeat, I guess, than metal is. But I've been listening to Relient K since I was an early teenager, and I've never been disappointed with an album they've put out. They're definitely one of my favorite bands. Go check them out. They're named after the car, only it's spelled a little bit different. I did get to see them once years ago. They came to a city near me for a festival at a theme park, and I was blown away. I can't wait to see them again. If my band ever got to play with them or Demon Hunter, I could die happy. I could just die happy the moment after the show ended. 24, winter. I love winter. I'm not a fan of the summer heat. My clothes match the winter season. There's snow, brisk cold mornings, snow days. And I'm not even an outdoor person, but I love to go out in the snow, not drive, but go out in the snow, just walk around. It's so quiet because the snow serves as a dampener for like a sound absorber. I absolutely love winter. 25, I also love early fall and winter mornings. The crisp air, how quiet it is, especially since, the sun comes up a little bit later, or it feels like that sometimes. It's just my idea of heaven is an early fall or winter morning, and, it's just pleasant to me. It's so pleasant. I don't hate spring. I'm not a huge fan of summer. I like my flip-flops, though, so that's cool. But fall and winter, that's where it's at for me. 26, losing weight. And I know that putting this on YouTube is just, leaving myself wide open for fat jokes. And, oh, honey, I've been hearing it all my life, give it your best shot. Really, that's not something that anyone needs to be concerned about, being overweight. That's not what makes you good or bad. Don't worry about it. But I've always wanted to be a little healthier, and it's been hard for me to lose weight. In the last decade or so. Since I turned 16, I've just gained weight, and it's been near impossible to lose it. But since my husband and I started cutting all sugar, out of our diet in the last month-ish, I've actually been able to lose 15 pounds. And that's not with any exercising. Exercising would probably work a lot better, and I've found when I have any kind of sugar over 8 grams a day, my weight starts to go back up. But losing weight has, it's been a real accomplishment for me, and if that's something that you're looking to do, I would definitely encourage going on the ketogenic or just sugar and starch-free diet. It's been very helpful for me and my husband, and we've seen a lot of success in it, and it's one of my favorite things now. It's like, this is great. There's progress. It's real progress. Number 27, getting bills paid. Well, some really grown-up things in this list. It is such a relief to get bills paid. When you got medical bills and you got electricity and all those things, especially ones that you've not been able to pay for a while. When you're able to pay them off, it's one of the best things in the world. So that's why this hit 27 on my list of 100 favorite things, is getting bills paid off. 28, Banlagen tea. I know you've probably never heard of that unless you're Asian in origin. There is something that you can buy at almost every Oriental grocery store for super cheap, but it is good medicine. It's something called Banlagen tea. I do keep some here in the house. It's actually helped me stave off the flu, all kinds of viruses, whether respiratory or stomach related. It's great. You just go in. It comes in a green bag usually, but I'm sure there's many companies that make it and sell it. But it is a natural medicinal remedy in Asian cultures, from what I understand. I mix it in with my coffee. It's super cheap. It's a granule tea that you just dissolve in hot water or a hot liquid of some kind. And 1 cup a day actually helps cure colds. I'm told it's even able to fight off the effects of anthrax. And I would definitely recommend it. Banlagen, Banlangen, and it's a tea. 29, natural medicine in general. I don't take a lot of medicines. I do take vitamins some because there's just some health issues that I'm trying to work with. I'm fine. I'm not sick. I'm not just trying to alarm anyone. But natural medicine is almost always the best way to go. Garlic, vitamin C, baking soda, coconut oil, your vinegar. Most of those things will do so much better than anything that a doctor can prescribe to you. And I'm not saying that antibiotics are a bad thing, but I've had a lot of health issues because I've had to take so many antibiotics in my life. They strip all of the good bacteria as well as the bad bacteria, so it makes it more difficult for your stomach to fight off things in the future. You have to replace it with good bacteria through probiotics. Yogurt does that, or probiotics in pill form has that ability. But garlic is better than most, cold and flu medicines. Yeah, NyQuil will help knock you out at night, but it's not really going to stop what you have. Vitamin C, too much of it will make you poop a lot, but it will help fight off colds and flus. Baking soda, for your face and your skin is fantastic. And coconut oil is a natural, what's the word, antimicrobial. So, you can use it for your skin, you can use it on your teeth, you can use it on your face itself. It's fantastic. Natural medicine is usually the best way to go. Number 30, my hair. I know that's totally vain, it's such a girly thing to say, but I'm going to say it. And I'm not saying that my hair is better than anyone else's. I haven't cut it in really cut it in probably a decade. I get great compliments on my hair, and again, it's not me saying that it's better or it's super great, but I don't do anything crazy to it. I wash it in the cheapest shampoo and conditioner. I braid it wet, go sleep on that, and wake up and it's got all these curls. I've been straightening it some in the last few years, which I never thought that I'd actually be able to keep up with, because it takes about 45 minutes to straighten my hair, at least. Which brings me to number 31, is my straightener. It came in, it came in this box here. There we go. My husband gave this to me as a Christmas present a couple years ago, and I get a lot of compliments when my hair is straightened too. It's fantastic. That one, I think it's about $30 or $40 at Walmart. I've mentioned that a lot if I don't sound like white trash enough. But Walmart is great. No hate on Walmart or white trash. Don't hate on people. Anyway, but I've actually loved having my hair straightened. It's a totally different look, and it's a lot of fun. Number 32, you've heard me mention it a lot, but Christmas, different Christmas presents. But Christmas is my favorite holiday. It's also my birthday. It's 12/25. And I love all aspects of Christmas, the traditional, the sacred, as well as the quote-unquote secular. I love Santa Claus. I think he's great. And of course, Christmas is about the birth of Jesus Christ. No, it is not the correct date of his birth. Don't be fooled. That was probably in April, maybe. And I know that the history of how we celebrate Christmas is a really sordid, really just loaded history. However, the peace, the joy, the giving, the comfort, the hope that comes with Christmas, and I'm not even talking about presents, I'm just talking about, person to person and how we're supposed to treat each other all year round, but people do especially do this on Christmas, and that's why it's one of my favorite things. Number 33, Busch Gardens. They celebrate something called Christmastown every year around Christmas, and even just in the summer and other months. Busch Gardens is so much fun. My parents are obsessed with it. They're there every weekend they can go. There's one located in Williamsburg, Virginia. There's another located in Tampa, Florida. If you get a chance to go to Busch Gardens, get the season pass, because if you go more than twice in a year, it's already paid for itself. That's my Clea happening here, being noisy. But Busch Gardens is a lot of fun. They have Christmastown. The shows are so much fun. The food is good. It's expensive, but it's good. And they have Howl-O-Scream. It's one of the coolest things on the planet. It's a Halloween-related thing. It's not overly scary. It really isn't. Kids go to this. It's okay. Which brings me to 34. Halloween. It's my second favorite holiday, if you could call it that. I love the costumes, the parties, and my husband and I have actually thrown some really cool parties in the past, in my opinion. The decorations and the food and all this stuff we've done in different locations. We've held some in homes that we've lived in. We've held some at a place called the Schoolhouse Venue, where we've thrown concerts, rock metal concerts. And I'm not saying that you need to go overboard and really go into the deep, spiritual side of Halloween. I mean, if you do, that's your choice, and not push anything on you. But Halloween in general, as we've done it here in America, is so much fun. The scary side is actually a lot of fun. People dress up as all different kinds of things here in the States for Halloween, and it's pretty interesting. Some of the the sexy things, the funny things, or the really scary things that people do. Oh, it's great. Growing up, almost every year for Halloween, I was a witch, And I'm a pastor's daughter, so people looked at that kind of weird. But, we just had the best fashion, so you can just go on somewhere with that. Number 35, the schoolhouse venue. The schoolhouse venue is an old school building that my band, Single Side, actually helped open a few years ago. It's a local venue. It would feature mostly local bands and artists. It's helped a lot of local bands get their name out there where we live. It's helped my band get our name out there where we live. But we've actually had some pretty heavy hitters and big headliners come to the Schoolhouse venue. And you can look it up on Facebook as the Schoolhouse, one word, venue. You can find that. We've had A Plea for Purging there. We've had The Chariot. Lots of bands come through there. And of course, mostly local, but we've had some pretty intense and epic shows. We're hoping to start that back up sometime this year. It's been a little difficult in the last couple of years just because of some renovation and schedule conflicts, but overall, the Schoolhouse venue is pretty cool. Coffee. 36. Discovering or being introduced to new or new to me music. I love all genres. Not all. I shouldn't say that. But I'm not difficult to please when it comes to music. I do like hard rock and metal. Those are probably my favorites. But I also love bluegrass. I love disco. I love folk and acoustic. There's good pop out there, believe it or not. Most other cultures other than America do pop much better. Asian pop is usually a lot better than American pop. It's just much more fun, more well done, much more theatrical in a non-cheesy sense. British pop is usually much better. Actually, European pop in general. European metal in general is usually done better. I think they're the ones that first came up with it anyway. But really, I love being introduced to new bands or new to me music. You're not going to be quiet until I pick you up and pet you. You see what I'm talking about? I told you about this earlier. She's always squalling at me. Number 37, movies. I'm not huge on TV anymore, with the exception of a few shows, as I've mentioned some, but I love movies. I love talking about movies, breaking down, what's going on in the story behind movies. I can't even tell you what my favorite movie is because there's too many to choose from. I always say, oh, that's definitely a top 10 favorite movie, but there's like 30 films that fit into the top 10 list for me. So I could never make a movie about my top 10 favorite, a video about my top 10 favorite movies. That's not ever going to happen because I'll have to make like 40 of them. The internet, obviously, number 38. I love the internet. There's a dark side to it, most definitely, but you can keep up with friends that you don't get to see that often. You can, learn, you can explore, you can create. The internet is a great tool for, connecting with people in a good way. Don't do bad things. But the internet is great. I love it. It's changed my life. Number 39, my family is, one of my favorite things. I've come from a pretty unconventional background with my family, but we're all pretty tight-knit. There's my mom and my dad. They've been married for over 30 years. Yeah, over 30 years. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters. I'm smack dab in the middle of them. I've got some cousins. I've got some distant cousins, aunts and uncles. I only have one grandparent that's still living, and he lives next door, so I get to see him a lot. It's cool. I'm very, very proud of my family, and every sibling has a completely different thing going on, but we all have similarities, and it's just cool when we get to reconnect all the time. I have a very great relationship with number 40, my parents. I never really experienced that whole, mom and dad are stupid, and I'm not going to listen to anything they have to say. And I'm not saying my parents are perfect or know everything, but they've always had our backs, no matter what. I mean, if I killed somebody and went to jail, my mama would still probably, show up at jail. It's like, well, I'm kind of disappointed with you, but, we'll get past it. It's okay. How's your day going? Because my mom is super sweet. My dad is got such a big heart. They both have very big hearts. Our home growing up was home to a lot of other kids other than just the 5 of us. Some people didn't have a really great home situation growing up, so our home became their home, and my parents were essentially their parents. And it wasn't always permanent, but they stuck with us for a while. And I'm just really proud to know parents that even still, when their kids are grown, when they hear a hint of something that might be wrong, they immediately start to think, well, how can we fix this for you? Don't even worry about it. Like, I could fix it. I was just mentioning that it's happening. My parents let us live in the home that I'm in right now until, my husband and I can get a place of our own, and it's great. It's actually the home I grew up in. But that's a story for another time. Number 41, jewelry. I love jewelry. I'm not wearing a whole lot right now because I'm planning to go swimming later. But I should have thought about that before I did this list. Put some on. I love jewelry, and I'm not even saying that I have to have expensive jewelry. I don't have a lot of expensive jewelry, but I do have my wedding ring. It's real diamonds. It came from Walmart.com. You're gonna think that Walmart's gonna be on this list somewhere. It's not, but it's a good option, definitely. I've inherited some from my grandmother when she passed away a few years ago, and my other grandmother. Got a few things from her. I'm not even saying that I need precious jewels. I really like jewelry. It's fun. I get compliments on the cheap stuff all the time. But I'm always wearing something, always wearing a necklace at least. I always have my wedding ring on. I love jewelry. Number 42, I love perfumes. CK1 is my favorite. I get more compliments on CK1 than I do any other perfume that I wear. People, like, I get hugged a lot at shows or at church, or, you walk by someone when you're at the store. Wow, it smells good. Thank you. It was given to me in CK1. I definitely recommend it. And everybody's got their own different scent that they like, men and women. CK1, I think, was made for both men and women, but I really like it. Number 43, flip-flops. I love to wear flip-flops. I may be a winter child, but I love wearing flip-flops and sandals. It's one of the few things that gets me through the warm months until, winter comes back around to greet me with its icy embrace. But flip-flops are great. They're free. They're very, very casual, but you can also dress them up. Flip-flops are fun. Number 44, something completely different. I love live streaming. It's so fun, both on Twitch and on YouTube. I stream a lot of different things. Haven't had the chance to as much in recent months, just because, a lot of different things going on. Good things, nothing bad. But I do love live streaming. You get to connect with so many different people. It's a lot of fun. Number 45, Skyrim. It's my absolute favorite game. Too bad it's not in multiplayer. I heard that someone is coming up with a mod to make it multiplayer, so stay tuned for that. Look into that for me. But Skyrim is it's my absolute favorite game. It's open world, so much to explore, the crafting, the fighting, the storyline, the action. It's so great. And the graphics are so well done. It's great. I absolutely love it. Number 46, I love Minecraft. It's addictive, and I never thought that I'd like it. For years, I saw people playing it and looked at it and it's like, that looks so dumb. Why are you playing this? And my husband was all like, well, just give it a try. See if you like it, because he was really into it. He's who got me into a lot of gaming and Minecraft also. It was a snow day sometime a couple years ago, and I said, fine, I'll try it. So I made an account, got a copy of the game myself, and was addicted immediately. The crafting is so much fun. The crafting in Minecraft is the best part. And, and just mining, just seeing what you can find out there. It's so much fun. Number 47, the game 7 Days to Die. It's also addictive. It's better with other people, like Minecraft is. And scavenging is why I really enjoy the game, because there's there's just so many possibilities of things that you can find, and I find it a lot of fun. It's on Steam. You can find 7 Days to Die. I think it's still technically in beta, I don't know, but it's great. Look it up. Number 48, rogues. I always play a rogue type in games where I can create the character myself. It's just always what I lean to, even when I've played tabletop RPGs like Savage Worlds. It's a Dungeons and Dragons sort of style. I always end up making a rogue type. I don't mean to. It's just what happens. And everybody picks on rogues and says that they're cheap, but you know what? They're effective. Number 49, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's one of my favorite movies, absolute favorite movies. Finally got to see the new one that came out this year in 2017, and it's fantastic. I would definitely recommend it. Not a sponsor, but would change my life if it was. But Pirates of the Caribbean changed my life. Changed my wardrobe, changed a lot of things about me. I just love it. It's lots of fun. Number 50, I love Instagram. I don't know how many of you do, and you don't have to, but I'm Lady Candace on there as well, one word. But it's my favorite form of social media. You know, so many fun pictures. The hashtags actually are effective. So many people are there, and it's great. Number 51, whiskey. I love whiskey. I don't promote abuse of it, but honey whiskey in moderation is great. I'm of Irish descent, and that's something that my people used to make all the time, and I think it's actually good natural medicine for some things, but I would definitely recommend trying it if you like that sort of thing. If you don't feel like you have to. I don't think that it's something that you should abuse by any means. No substance is okay to abuse, but whiskey is great. I really like it. Especially when it's really hot outside, you get an ice cold glass, or it's really cold outside and you can make coffee, you put a little bit in your coffee with your hazelnut creamer, it goes really well together. 52, learning about my heritage. And I come from many different heritages. I'm Irish, I'm Scottish, I'm German, I'm French, I'm English, I'm African, I'm Native American, and there's a lot of different pieces in my heritage that make up those pieces, but it's so cool to hear about, where I come from. And I'm not saying any of it is better or worse than anything else. The good, the bad is all very interesting to me. I have an aunt, one of my mom's sisters, that is looking into their genealogy, and it's so cool, all the things that she's found. Now, I'm at 52. I'm going to pause the video here. I will be right back with part 2.